Okay, we are back and we are going to do the drawing for the autographed Kiss picture, if I can do this right. So let's see how it goes. And here we go. Looks like Trisha. Trisha, when you watch this, be sure to send us a email at tradingpostpickers, all one word. So it's tradingpostpickers@gmail.com, and I will send you a code or something to put on this message to claim your prize. Thank you. Also wanted to add that Trisha came over from TN Pickers to support us. Tim and Jerry's been great. So Trisha, thank you again for coming over from them, and anybody else, please go to TN Pickers and subscribe to them if you haven't already. Okay, we got quite a bit today. The dollar value is not there, but it's just the opposite as last week. Last week was few items, a lot of dollar amount. This week is a lot of items and little dollar amount. Also, I'm going to touch on, we were watching Chris Old School. He had talked briefly about being protected. He's talking about that he heard about someone who caught a fire. This kind of went on about that, but we're going to go a little more in depth as far as like some of the costs of insurance. So it's kind of different for me. It's probably going to be brief. Got to make sure that you're protected, especially if this is your livelihood or this is just a couple extra dollars here and there to get you to the next payday. All right, stick around. Let's see what we sold. First up, we have a couple of the Fun Facts. This is the Zoo Wildlife sheets. First one says Churds. Never even heard that before. The second one is for the Save the Florida Panther. This is going to the same individual, and they paid $7.50 for each. We have another comic going out. This is the, I'm probably gonna say this wrong, the Xenozoic Tales, and part of the Cadillac and Dinosaurs comic collection. This is number 14. It's in excellent condition, and it's by Dark Horse Comics, and this one sold for $7.10. Here is a Mike Piazza McFarlane figure. He is complete. This came out of the death pile where I bought a bunch of these down in Florida, and it's never really got to it. But I listed him probably about 3 weeks ago, and he ended up selling for $5. Here is a controller. It's a white one for the Xbox One. It is wired. I was surprised it actually sold, but maybe that's why, because the price was down so much. This one sold for $10.95, and this is another item that came out of the death pile. This next one is another multi-quantity order here. The first one is, they're both hats, and Christina just listed one of these probably about 2 weeks ago, maybe even less. But this is a little alien hat. This one sold for $9.50. I think we might be into this for maybe $1, maybe. And then this same individual bought this redfish hat. I got a box lot of these hats. There's various hats, but some of them were duplicates down in the auction down in Florida. There's probably 30 or 40 hats at least, and the whole box of them was for $5. They're not anything special. I sold some in our store whenever we had it down there. I mean, we've made money on it, but they're very slow going because they are kind of generic hats. But this one itself sold for $7.50. Those hats are something that you'd probably find on the side of the road down there along the beach for like souvenirs and stuff like that. So I wouldn't really expect a whole lot out of them. Next is another item that she just listed a couple weeks ago, if not sooner. This is matte white film DVD labels. There's 20 of them in it. I think there's multi-quantity on these. This one sold for $13. She got probably 5 or 6 of them at the local thrift store here for probably 50 cents a piece, maybe. Probably not even that. This next one came from a salt and pepper lot that we bought when we first got here. There were so many of them in there, and I just kind of got burned out listing them, and then she finally found them in the death pile. But this is a salt and pepper shaker. It's a little, looks like maybe a Yorkie, maybe. And he comes with a little doghouse. The research that she did, it looks like these came from like the 60s. That set alone sold for $15. We paid maybe 30 for all of the salt and pepper shakers. And I know she had sold one other one for 20 bucks. And that wasn't the only ones that we've sold out there. We've sold several others, but just those two alone pays for all of them. I know she just listed this one before she left to go to Florida, so it was within a week. This is a little Celestial Seasons tin. Has a bison on it. This came out of the death pile again, and it sold for $9.50. We have 3 track pieces from that Carrera car set that we had gotten at the thrift store. We spent $75 on the whole box. We've sold 2 of the non-working cars for 30 bucks a piece. We sold a working car for 60, and then we sold some other track pieces for I think 30 total. So we're already at 90. We're already at $120. We spent $75 total. But we sold 3 more pieces of track. This is just the straight pieces, and they sold for $25.50. So just add that to the total. I talked to this guy back and forth last night. I was halfway asleep whenever I was messaging. This is some of that space ephemera that I listed. 2 of them I had listed for $10, and one of them I had listed for $8. He sent me a message telling me which ones he was interested in. I asked to see if I can cut him a deal. This came out of the death pile. We're into it for pennies. So just to make sure I could get the deal, I went ahead and just told him $20 for all 3. So I basically cut $8 or $9 off of it, and saved him some taxes. But the first one is a Navstar GPS. And on the back, it's got the information on the back. Next one is, well, the next 2 are actually part of a propulsion system, if I'm not mistaken. The first one is a MA5A. And again, they get the specs and information on the back. The same as the third one. Only this one is a RS27A. All these sheets are from Rockwell International that actually helped build the shuttle. They actually did the parts for the shuttle, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, for something to be sitting around that we're into it for maybe pennies, and I got tons more of it, I'm okay with getting $20 out of these 3. They're lightweight, and he's only going to spend maybe $4.50 on shipping. So he got a pretty good deal. We're making money, and we still got tons more. I did send him a message time that I still got tons and tons of this left to list. So he's going to be on the lookout. It didn't last long. She had it listed, and it sold pretty quick. It is. She got it at Goodwill. I think she paid $2 for it. And it's the 4th edition Password board game. It's either $2 or $3. It sold probably within a week or so. I think she listed it before she left. Yeah. So this one sold in about a week. Sold for $19. This is weird. So far, the first 2 things is stuff that she's got. All right, this one is a teapot. This is a Chantel Live Strong teapot. Again, another Goodwill find by her. Hopefully this whole video is not going to be everything she finds. I think she paid $4 for this one, and it sold for $15. This was not one that she found, but it's not even something that we purchased for resale. We got this with a bunch of metal figs, Marvel and DC metal figs. It's when we first got started, me and her went and looked, and I thought metal figs were a lot better than what they were. I mean, we're still making money off of them now that we're selling them, but nothing great. But this is a little acrylic case. It's a 5 shelf with a mirrored back. It is almost 11 inches wide, 3 inches deep, and 14 inches tall. The shelves are removable. There is no lock on it, and it does hang on the wall. But again, this is something that we didn't do the initial purchase just for this. It was for the metal figs, but this sold for $50. This one may take a couple minutes to find. Maybe not. Stuffed animal. We're probably into this for maybe 50 cents to $1. Not sure where we got it. Probably a yard sale or something. But I think she originally got it for Valentine's Day. But it's a really soft bear. It says love on the heart. There's no branding on it, so I'm not sure what it is, but super, super soft. And this one sold for $13. All right, before we go on with the rest of the weekend sales. I was going to touch on the topic insurance. Chris talked about this on one of his videos and talked about how someone had their house burned down. I couldn't imagine. We would be completely, I can't say completely devastated, but it's our livelihood. Just wanted to make sure, are you insured? For us, we are now. Me and Christina talked about this before Chris's video, but Chris just kind of brought it back to our attention with us moving up here and trying to get situated, and kind of put it off on the back burner. So we reached out to our insurance company that does our car and house insurance, and he got it for us. We did $100,000 for future growth and to cover the shed, all the shelving, and it covers all the product as well. We did that, and originally he had it set up for 50% for the shed, 50% for the product. I thought it was a little bit high. So I called him. My biggest question was, it's considered personal property until we sell it. He said it is, but on your homeowner's insurance, if they catch wind that you're reselling, then they will fight it and fight it and fight it, and it probably wouldn't even result from anything. He suggested the business insurance, which is pretty reasonable. He said that if you're selling out of your house, of course, there's a portion that you can claim, a certain percentage. But it all came down to basically the shed, what we have in the shed, because it's completely separate from the house. You can set it up to where there's a portion of your house that is going to be covered for the business. And this probably ain't going to be that helpful, but for those who are doing it to make a little bit extra money for groceries or gas, or because of the way the economy is, or people who are doing it full time, it might be something good to look into. Like I said, we did $100,000, and originally he had it for 50-50. I think it was closer to $200 a month, which, yeah, that's just more money out of the pocket that kind of takes away. But on the long, if something were to happen, we'd be set up. So between the price of the shed and all the fixtures, and to get it rewired, I had him drop it down to $30,000 for the shed and everything in it, and then $70,000 for the product. That dropped it significantly. At least here in Tennessee, it dropped it down to $100 a month, which is manageable. Much more manageable knowing that we're covered for the long run. So I would suggest maybe reaching out to your car insurance or your house insurance if you're interested. And it all depends on how much you do it. Seems like your insurance is more if you have it heavier on your dwelling instead of the product itself. So keep that in mind too. If you are working out of your house, then it'd probably be a lot cheaper, because then they would probably discount the product itself and maybe the room that you're using or something like that. I mean, something to look into. I'm probably just rambling on. I'm just not really sure what much else to say. I think it'd be a good investment for anybody who definitely wants to do this full time, that may not have a job to fall back to, or don't want to go back to a job. I know if something were to happen to this shed, you know, we'll be covered. We'll be able to keep going without we'll lose a little bit of a stride, but just something to look into. Our insurance agent is awesome, and if you're here in Tennessee, reach out to me. I can put you in contact with him. We can just text him and tell him what we want, and he'll have it taken care of in no time. So if you're in Tennessee, let me know. All right, let's get back to ourselves. But I wanted to go ahead and get this out of the way because I'm gonna have to leave tomorrow morning to go pick Christina up at the airport where she's coming back from Florida. And I don't know how much time I'll actually have tomorrow to get it all boxed up, so I'm gonna box up what I can. Lennox spice jars. We got these, is probably midsummer last year when we got up here. Well, for us, we didn't get started until later because where we just moved. But we got a whole box of these. This one is allspice, and we have another one that is thyme. The box actually had almost every one of them in it. We didn't want a lot of them together. We figured that we'd sell them separate, and we listed them for $8.95 a piece. Someone came in and bought 2 of them, and they spent $17.90. I think we spent $10 on the whole box, and we've already sold like 5 or 6 of them at that price. So it's benefiting, and they don't take up too terribly much space. Some of the fun facts that sold. This is actually the Hanuman Langer. I probably butchered the name. It says 49 sheets. This one sold for $7.50 as well. And we're into this for maybe 50 cents. All right, this next one came from my personal stuff where I was a kid, and I don't know, I'm just not into it anymore, I guess. These are actually baseball talk cards. They're like little plastic record type things, and had a little player put them in, and they told you all about the player itself. But I put these two together. This one has Rob Gibson, Mark McGuire, Bruce Sutter, and Tony Fernandez in it. And the other one is Eric Davis, Brooks Robinson, Brett Saberhagen, and Hubie Brooks. Put those together, and they didn't sell for much. They sold for $6. On a haul or two ago, Christina listed, it's a Hamilton Beach blender, 14 speed. She listed it, she actually parted it out. The lid to it sold. I think we're into it for no more than $10. But the lid itself sold for $10. Okay, at the SPC thrift store down in Florida, before we left, they had a bunch of US Open hats. I think I got them for $1 a piece. They're brand new, still has the cardboard in the back. This one has a marker attached to it, ball marker. Got them for $1 a piece. I probably got 10 or 15 of them or so. And they're slow sellers. I had them priced a little bit higher, but it's time to move them. So I went from $9.95, $10 down to $8. This one sold. This one is Oakmont 2016. I'm gonna turn this around because it's two pieces. This is a two-piece enamelware. It's pink floral. One is 10 inches in diameter. The other one is 9. This one looks pretty good, but you can see how it's all scratched up on the bottom. She did make a note of it and take pictures. I know she got these at a yard sale. She probably spent maybe $2 on it, maybe. Probably closer to $1. The two together sold for $12. At this yard sale, this guy actually had a lot of Dale Earnhardt stuff, but no, you can tell he was still attached to it. Anyway, we didn't buy nothing there. On the way out, Christina found this. This is a Presto hot dogger. It's vintage. She did test it. It basically electrocutes the wiener, and I guess it fries it from the inside out. I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of weird. You can hear it popping and sizzling. Yeah, but she paid $1 for this one, and it sold for $40. And I'm glad it sold before she got mad at me, if you catch my drift. This one is from my cousin's estate. This is a little snowman wood block calendar. Well, the snowman's replaceable, but you also have Easter, spring, and I'm not sure what the other one is. It's pretty cute. It's not too big at all. Again, it's my cousin's estate, and it sold for $15. So that money will go back to the family. Not too bad. I mean, the dollar value is, it's all right, but we're moving stuff. I know it's not big stuff, but they're easy packers. I can get them out, get them going. But I would like to thank everybody who continues to watch, and hopefully those out there will subscribe that hasn't already. Hit that like button so you can start seeing videos. And I kind of hope that you guys are liking the shorts that we're doing. It kind of gives you guys the first option to go out and purchase something if you see something you like within the first 24 hours of being listed. I don't know if you guys like it. I don't know if it's a good idea. I just figured it might be give you guys as a subscriber options. If you see something, you can get it before it sells. You kind of have first options to get it. But let me know what you guys think of it, or if you're even watching them. And we will let you go. And from mine and Christina's bottom of our heart, we want to thank you guys so much, because we're slowly getting there, and we love the support. Thank you guys, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.